welcome back. It's Charlotte from At Charlotte's House. Today, my house is 99% clean, so I'm going to take you on a little bit of a video house tour. I hope you enjoy. You come in the front door and you are greeted by this beautiful foyer with the original wood beams. This was the first space I saw when we moved into this house, and I fell in love with it. Those chairs have had a couple different iterations, but I painted them and recovered them. That's a Craigslist sideboard that I painted. And then that was a wedding gift, that beautiful round mirror. It was from my mother-in-law. It came from an antique store, and it is perfect for this space. We used to live in New York City, and it always has a place in my heart. So those are just some photographs from Minted that we had framed. And then that bench right there was also a Craigslist find that was repainted, recovered, new lease on life. So coming through the foyer, on your left is the formal living room, which we rarely use, but it's one of my favorite rooms because it is always clean. That green couch is a favorite. That is no longer carried by IKEA. And then that blue couch we got at a local consignment store. That mirror was handed down from my grandmother, and then that glass table came from the Restore. Bottom line, I like myself a good bargain, and there are all sorts of fun thrifted finds throughout the house. That botanical chart, which is a little in the shadows now, that was a flea market score, and I love it. And then this chair in the corner, that was actually one of the first pieces that I ever had reupholstered. And those colors still show up in my decor. I love it. That painting over the mantle is DIY. And then that painting in the corner was flea market. And again, mixing and matching makes me so happy. I wouldn't say that we have too many pieces that are on the high end of the spectrum, but in theory, I love mixing high with the low. This room gets so much beautiful sunlight. I love it. And then connected to the living room by that wonderful open cased opening is what we use as our office. And you can see the children's stuff always ends up everywhere. That Juju hat is a favorite. I love the neutral texture that it brings into any space. And then that ombre file cabinet is one of my earlier pieces. I got it on Craigslist. It used to have fossils inside, and I repainted it. And I don't know about you, but I like it so much better now than it used to be sort of a blah olive gray color. We used to have a more typical desk in this space, and what I found is that we needed to float it because of the wonderful windows and the radiators, and I love having just a table. That's an IKEA kitchen table that we use as a desk. It means you do have a cord coming across the rug, but it would be pretty easy for us to put an outlet in the floor if we wanted. But it just makes the room feel that much more open. Here's another glimpse of that living room. And then we're gonna come through here into our playroom. And obviously this used to be sort of a library of sorts, but we have 5 small children, and this was a nice central place for the kids to set up their toys and their puzzles. There's no way to really organize all the kids' stuff, but I've done my best. And for 5 kids, I'd say this is a pretty small space, so we had to kind of pack a lot into a little. We've had a couple different furniture layouts, and this one is certainly the most conducive to what the kids do in here, which is on the weekends they get to have a little movie time, and so they can all sit here. But one day I'd love to set it up a little differently. That's a working fireplace. For now, it doesn't make sense to take up too much space to use that, but it would be really cozy. So I'm gonna leave you hanging. That is our dining room, but I'm actually gonna back up and go back through the foyer and show you the upstairs first. My fiddle leaf figs are very happy in this little corner. They get nice morning sun. We didn't do a lot of painting when we moved into this house. So most of the colors that you see are original, like these black stair treads I love. I have to slow down so my camera can focus. So this landing used to be quite a bit larger, but we wanted to put a closet in. So this wall on the left actually is the back of our closet, and we figured we didn't need an enormous landing. Let's do the master first. So now that we added that closet there, we have a nice little nook. It's my grandmother's old house. I love that. And here's our master. This actually is one room that we haven't painted, and I've always wanted to paint just white because my stuff is pretty colorful, and I just feel like white walls would make everything just pop. Those chairs were, I think, $35 for the pair. They're nice round swivel chairs, and I have to have them recovered, but they look so nice. They have a really fun sort of neutral but cool fabric. I just hung those blue curtains from IKEA, and it all started with that bench. I saw that bench at Home Goods, and I shared it on my Instagram stories, and everyone said, you have to go back and buy it. If there was ever a person that bench was made for, it is you. And it happened to be right around my birthday, so I had some generous checks from family that I was able to cash in, and I love it. It's so colorful, and it meant that I had to change a couple of things in here. That nightstand is just a child's dresser that I got at the Restore, repainted, swapped out the hardware. These lamps are a favorite. They're actually just glass lamps, and you're meant to fill them with things, but I just have that beautiful marbled blue and white paper in there, and they're amazing. Those are my budget version of acrylic floating frames. I'll link to it in the video description because I have a post on those. And then I will also link to the artist who did those printables. She's a friend of mine, and I love them. They're all my favorite colors, and I just think they look great in here. I just got this dresser from an auction, and I love it. It gives me a little more space. It's a little more upright, and I also love that wood tone. I think that fits into this room really well. I made that headboard. And if you go to my home tour on my blog, I link to all of these projects room by room. Might be easier than me linking to all of them here. So that painting over the mantle was given to me by my grandmother, and it's centered on the wall, but it's not centered on the mantle. And I always mention that because sometimes people go crazy when they see that. I chose to center it on the wall. I figured if it was centered over the mantle, we would have a big space on the wall. But I know that some people would not do it that way. All right, coming into the master bath, this was a space that I did entirely on my own. I had to pull down wallpaper, I had to retile. It was a labor of love. I'm so glad I took it on. I painted the vanity, made the curtains, made the barn door, hung the barn door. And is it 100% updated? Absolutely not. Obviously, someone could come in and gut this space and replace it with modern everything, but for the budget I had, it's a pretty dramatic makeover from what it was, and all it took was some elbow grease. I was lucky enough to work with some sponsors, so I didn't actually have to pay for many of the materials, but even if I had, I still think that it would have been just a fraction of what it would have cost if we had had to pay someone to do everything that I did. And I have the satisfaction of having done it myself. All right, so now we're gonna move next door. This is the old part of the house. This house was built in about 1850, and the original part of the house is these rooms that you've seen. And then at some point in the 70s, there was an addition put on with a new, more updated kitchen and a couple more bedrooms. So my daughters share this room. And this is one of my favorite rooms in the house just because it's so bright and cheerful. I've used all my favorite colors. I don't know that this room is what you would consider sort of a decorated room in that it's not super matchy-matchy, but that's sort of my style. I tend to be a little more eclectic. I love this bunk bed because it has the stairs. I built this for them. This is from IKEA Packs. That's the setup, and it's just a place for all their dress-ups, which I was very pleased by because they had a lot. And they use them all the time, so I didn't want to have them just buried in a bin somewhere. I made that tapestry over the mantle, and they also love to sit together and play in their dollhouses, so it seemed like that was the perfect spot for those. This bathroom, I don't know that I've actually shared on my blog because I actually did this for Rachel Ray, and my episode never aired, but they asked me just to hang on, so don't tell anyone that I'm showing you. But this was just a nice budget makeover. We recently put in penny tile on the floor, which makes such a nice difference. I made that wall hanging. And that's sort of a Jack and Jill bathroom, so you can come at it from both directions. You can see that I'm now back out here in the landing. Now, before I show you the newer part of the house, we're gonna go upstairs. This is sort of a bonus room, if you will. I don't think this ever shows up on the house's specs because it's just a finished attic, but we have it set up as a guest room, and when my parents come or anyone else, this is one of my favorite spaces. I collected all those embroidered flea market pictures. I painted that wall blue so they just pop right off of it. And this room is a really fun example of what I like most about decorating. I mixed and matched lots of things. Those X benches are from the flea market. I worked with Home Depot on a post, and that was where the headboards are from. The rug is from Home Goods, a little bit of everything. And then this space, I'm gonna have to sneak in and turn on a light. But this is a bathroom that I just recently redid. I added that really fun wallpaper. If you can't put bold wallpaper in a tiny little third floor bathroom, where can you? I painted the floor and used a paint pen to add that fun texture. I made that table, and then I just styled it. Hi. I love this wallpaper, and I just love that it's sort of this happy surprise. Let's see if I can reach around and turn off the lights. Boop. Bye. This end of the room, I have just a simple little dresser. I painted a flea market mirror, that bright blue color. And I sort of figured that one day one of the kids can come up here. So there's nice little storage. And then I'm also gonna give you a sneak peek. I recently did this right after the new year. I turned this extra little storage room into my office. And I love it. So this front half is where I come and work. And then there's still tons of space for storage down there. I have all my paint stored behind the door. I love coming up here. It takes the kids a few minutes to find me. Maybe the best part about this space. Okay, so we're gonna go downstairs. The only room that I'm gonna have to skip right now is the baby's room because he's in there sleeping. But I'm gonna come back and I'll share that with you, and maybe I'll edit it in right in a few seconds. So this is obviously the newer part of the house. They created this little hallway, and this is where our laundry is. It's just a laundry closet. There's a linen closet. So this room used to be a nursery for one of my daughters, but now she shares with her sister. And so I built that daybed, and then I had it upholstered because I was wanting this look of the accent wall matching the fabric, and I love it. So this room, this is a guest room if we need more space. I put in those floating shelves, which are a nice way to display things, but they don't take up too much wall space. And then I put that chair there. So my goal for this space was to have it be a guest room, but also you use it for laundry. So we don't have a laundry room, but if we're needing to place to fold laundry or store laundry, this is where that happens. I made those paintings. I wanted to echo the colors in the fabric. They were really easy, and I love those. So right now I'm gonna edit in the baby's room, because that is right there. Shh. So my son is up from his nap, and this is the last stop on the tour. This sweet, tiny little bedroom is his nursery, and he still naps and he still stays in a crib. I put up that faux reclaimed wood wall. We didn't know whether or not we were having a boy or a girl, so that neutral backdrop has been perfect. And then I just hung a curtain over his closet. It didn't have a door when we moved in, and the curtain actually takes up a lot less room. And then that's just an old dresser. I'm sorry about the focus, you guys. This new camera is very sensitive. So we got that new dresser, and I just put a piece of fabric on the top. And then I wallpapered in here. I love those clouds. Those are some old photographs from when we lived in the city of trucks. And that's it. There's not much else in here, but it's a sweet little room for him. I'm gonna show you this. This is an old pie crate that I turned on end and added some legs to. So it's perfect for him. We can sit and read stories, some curtain poles from the flea market, home goods curtains. I love it. So this bathroom down here, my two oldest kids share, and I added wallpaper and painted the vanity, and then added new lighting, and that's about it. We just recently replaced, or I shouldn't say replaced, there was always a shower there, but it wasn't really operational, so we had to pull it out and replace the floor and put in a new fixture. So this room, again, it's not modern, but it doesn't scream to me as being dated. It just sort of is a basic bathroom, and the simple changes that I made, I just think they make it look a little bit nicer. Okay. You're getting a peek of this. I found two of these enormous Campbell's soup pictures at the Restore. I think they were something crazy like $30 a piece. So there's one there, and then there's one around the corner right here. So my son and my daughter stay down here. We'll go into my son's room first. And I love that they each have their own room, but the rooms are still pretty cozy, and they're the perfect size for a kid. So he has some nice bookshelves, and then there's a reading corner. I just worked on his Lego area. I love this Lego storage system. This is from a company called Wall Control, and they are so easy to work with. You hang the two metal pieces on the wall, and then there's just dozens of different adapters that you can use. So I put in a bunch of shelves and drawers for my son's Legos. That map was an early flea market score. I still love it. Same with that elephant picture. The fox came from the Home Depot, if you can believe it. And then I made his bed. It's a trundle bed, and he loves to have sleepovers. Right now they're only with his siblings, but that will change. Give you another spin so you can see his cute little reading corner. I made those pendant lights out of just a cardboard globe ages ago, so it's a nice way to get him some light over there. And then his dresser, I actually got this dresser at the flea market because it was a project I had been dying to try. They've sanded off all the paint on that metal dresser, and I just love it. I think it's really cool for a kid's room. Okay, we're gonna go around the corner to his sister's room. This room just got a makeover too, because I was given this new mohawk rug, or at least I was able to select a mohawk rug of my choice. And I just loved it. Added a little sophistication in here. My daughter's 9, so I don't want it to be sophisticated, but she was ready for a change. So the rug meant a new headboard. I spray painted the old one with that beautiful rich navy. Both my children have those large letters that came home from the flea market, but I painted my daughter's white on the side so it blended in a little bit. These soft pink curtains are from IKEA. That dresser, man, I think I got that on Craigslist ages ago, and we painted it with that soft pink chalk paint. This love seat was in our room until I got that beautiful colorful bench. So then that came in here. This is just a plain old wicker headboard that I put over her desk. And I actually just finished making over that desk chair for her, so she is delighted. But that's her little desk area. So now we're gonna go down the back stairs. I love that this house has 2 stairs. I don't know, somehow it always seems a little bit easier with all the kids. There's 7 people in our family, that's why I have those 7s there. At the bottom of the stairs, that's just a simple IKEA shoe storage. And we use it in the winter for hats and gloves, and then in the summer it holds sort of goggles and ball caps. And if you come to the left, you can go out to the backyard, or you see the mudroom that I made. That's an old lab cabinet that I got at a local, not a restore, but sort of a salvage shop. And then I have a bunch of hooks for all the kids' coats. I made that storage bench so that there's a cubby that rolls out for all of their shoes. And it's not a ton of space, but it seems to do the trick. And then if you come down the stairs and go to the right, here we are in the family room. And this is where we spend most of our time. Just about everything in this space is from Raymore and Flanagan. The couches, the coffee table, the side tables, the mirror, the lamps, and I love it. It still feels like my style, but everything is new and comfy. That blue makes me so happy. And one thing I love about this house is that it is not open concept, but it is open-ish. So we have this bar seating that opens up into the kitchen, so a couple of the kids will often end up there. And it means that I can be in the kitchen, not worried too much about the mess because it's kind of concealed, but I'm also kind of part of the activity in the room. When we bought the house, that kitchen floor was sort of a green vinyl, and the walls in here were a lovely shade of mustard yellow. And we have since replaced the floor with just hardwood to match the flooring that was in here, and we've painted the whole space white. And let me tell you, it was like miracles happened. So ignore that little pile of stuff. I was hoping to miss it. So here's another view of the kitchen. That's just a Craigslist table that I painted. I love the pink legs. Those plastic chairs are from Amazon, and they're great because they just wipe off. I replaced the backsplash in here. That made a huge difference. But honestly, just having it white was a game changer. This is where we have sort of school snacks and art supplies. Those are just basic IKEA bins. I love them. And then here's a glimpse of the kitchen itself. And again, there's tons of counter space. It is perfect for us. I love that you can still see through, but if that sink is filled with dirty dishes, you're not looking at it from the family room couch. This is where we eat 99% of our meals. There's a nice extra sink here. I'm not going to show it to you. It's filled with the remnants of cleaning up paintbrushes. So this rainbow wall of glass, I fell in love with the similar shelf filled with rainbow glass from the blog A Beautiful Mess. She had collected all of the glassware. I have not. I cheated and I painted a lot of that, but it makes me happy. I love those rainbow colors. And now we're finally back into our formal dining room. We painted this blue and kept below the chair rail that same off-white. That table is just a simple wooden table that I painted blue as well. I reupholstered those chairs, and then I painted that Restore sideboard with that bright, vibrant coral. I recovered those chairs on either side of the sideboard, and then I made some curtains. So this room got a pretty nice makeover. And we use it for holiday meals or dinner parties. Usually there's a lot of stuff piled up on the dining room table, but that's the way it is, isn't it? And then those pencil drawings of the kids are amazing. That's by an Etsy artist. And I just emailed her photographs, and that's what we got. So now you've come full circle. Here we are back in the playroom. We're gonna go back out. This is where oftentimes we have the kids' art. Right now I just have some paintings and pictures to add a little color. But now here we are, back in the foyer. So I hope you enjoyed this. I know that the last video home tour I posted, you all seemed to really enjoy. So I thought now was the right time to share another one. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Leave me a comment, let me know what you thought. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and have a great day. Bye, everyone.